This is Vince Russo's The Brand.
Yo, this is Jeff Lane. I'm the guy who was voted most likely to mute you on Twitter. I'm going to briefly talk about tonight's WWE Royal Rumble. Now, if you're looking for Vince Russo's thoughts, you're in the wrong spot. You need to go to russosbrand.com today, sign into the Realm Network. His thoughts will be up there with Big Vito. Also, will be released Tuesday for free on Podcast One. The WWE Royal Rumble, the entire structure of the card was just very odd to me. I guess I don't understand how to do it anymore. When you have the WWE Championship match first, and I just think about how prestigious this title used to be. It was the whole point of the WWE. This is why everybody was there. This was the prize. This is what everybody wanted. And now it's the opening match. We've talked numerous times about the devaluing of the championships, especially the major championships. And it just continues with this being now the opening match. It was just very odd. AJ Styles going over. Thank God. The whole point of having two co-champions for a singles title just didn't make any sense to me to begin with. The fact that they even had that as a stipulation was just goofy. So luckily they didn't pull the trigger on that silliness and they kept the belt on AJ. The Usos and Gable and Benjamin was what it was. Just a tag match with no story, just filling the card. Because they've wrestled a few times on SmackDown, so that's their story. There's no creativity in the booking. And then speaking of not understanding match structure, it happens again, is the Royal Rumble is the third match on the card. This right here is for the main event of WrestleMania. This is one of the biggest matches of the year, and it's third on the card. The only time that this wasn't the main event that I can recall anyway was if the WWE Championship was the main event of the Royal Rumble. So if one of those two should be the main event, the fact that they were first and third, I don't know. I would have loved to hear the reasoning why they situated the card the way that they did. Nakamura getting the win. I mean, I don't have an issue with that. You always need to build new stars. The problem is they haven't done anything with him to this point. This would have been a much bigger win if Nakamura had momentum and he was on TV every week, which he hasn't been. Go watch the last few months of SmackDown. There's episodes where he hasn't even been on there. So he's got no storyline. He's got no character. He's just been wrestling matches and saying like a couple words that nobody can understand. They don't let him speak Japanese with subtitles, which I think would be the way to go. Instead of him trying to think of the English, you're not getting any passion from him. He could be speaking in his native language with passion, with emotion, and you can put the subtitles on there so people understand what he's saying. While that he has no momentum and they've done nothing with him up to this point, now they need to. Because if you're going to put him in the main event of WrestleMania, which at this point I find it hard to believe that will close the show, but they're saying it's the main event, so he needs to be a star, and you have to book him like a star. You just can't expect him to go out there and wrestle matches, and he's going to sell tickets, because that's not going to happen. There's a huge missed opportunity here, though. They had a chance for, like, the biggest crowd heat ever in the history of professional wrestling. If Roman Reigns would have won again in Philadelphia again, like, the roof would have been blown off the place of these goofs, like, crying and going insane and booing. And I would have done it just for that, because it would have been hilarious to see. You could have trolled these people who say that, you know, they're not going to support Roman Reigns, but yet there they are every show with their Roman sucks signs and trying to boo him as loud as possible and paying money to see Roman. So I thought that would have been funny if he would have went over again in Philadelphia, just to see that crowd reaction, and it would have been a highlight for years to come. I don't know how they didn't go with that opportunity. So after that, with this being third, and you got to think we're already, I think, 4 hours into the show at this point. I'm counting the pre-show that these fans have been sitting there. So about 4 hours into this point, we just had the big Royal Rumble. Nakamura went over. All the internet marks in the crowd are happy. They're all high-fiving, hugging each other, tickling each other's sacks. Then he picks AJ Styles, so then their boners get even bigger. So after all that, now we're going to have the WWE tag match, and then everybody's coming down. Like, back in the day, okay, this would have been a Gaga spot. Throw a bra and panties match out there. maybe a cruiserweight match, a talk show segment, but we're going to go right into a tag title match, and the crowd didn't care. And I don't know why they would, honestly, because here we are again, Sheamus and Cesaro with Seth Rollins again. Nobody cares. I think Sheamus and Cesaro won. I don't care. The three-way Universal Championship match, crowd really wasn't into this at all. And the match took a weird turn with the legit shots with Brock punching Braun right in the face. I understand how it works in wrestling. You know, you stiff somebody, you get your receipt. But I can't, I've never seen that before, and it's probably happened with thousands and thousands and thousands of wrestling matches. But normally, okay, you get stiffed, all right, you got a receipt coming later, buddy, and you pick your spot, and you hit him with a stiff chop or a clothesline or something. But Braun knees Brock right in the head, in the chin or in the face, wherever it was, and Brock just gets up and freaking clocks him right in the head, and you see it, I mean, and they showed it, you know, 2 or 3 times in the replay, and you see his whole head jiggle. So I wonder if Chris Nowinski was studying this film like he does the NFL films to see the effects that would have had on Braun's brain and concussion protocol. But I just thought that was odd that, I mean, he legit just punched him, like clocked him right in the head. And you have to wonder if somebody like Titus O'Neil, Brian Kendrick, just somebody else on the card just legit punch somebody in the face, what would happen to them? But I'm sure Brock gets away with it. I don't think Strowman intentionally kneed him. Yes, it was sloppy. Yes, you're not supposed to hurt your opponent. I understand why Brock would have been upset, but it's pro wrestling, man. But to get up like that and punch him right in the face. And people want Finn Balor to wrestle Brock. Like, could you imagine if Finn Balor would have stiffed Brock accidentally and Brock would have punched him like that? Finn Balor would have been knocked out cold. The match was just weird from that point on, and the crowd still was not into this match. They hadn't recovered from the Royal Rumble yet. I mean, there was a weird table spot. You know, you wonder why they removed the monitors. Well, this is why. Kane landed right on the monitor, like right in his gut. That couldn't have felt good. And then the table, like, it was a delay, and then it broke, and the crowd kind of laughed, and that was goofy. And there was lots of table spots, and it was like that they really didn't mean anything. They were just there for, like, the car crash thing, and then Brock went over. Like, the whole thing was underwhelming, especially, you know, how big they built this up going into it. So it was okay, but, I mean, just a weird placement with the Rumble before this, and then the tag match, and you're about 4 hours into the show or whatever, and the crowd just wasn't into it at this point. So then we close with the Stephanie McMahon presents the first annual WWE Stephanie McMahon Women's Royal Rumble, gifted to you by Stephanie McMahon. So of course Stephanie's on commentary. Several things to talk about here. Hey, this exceeded my expectations. I was one of those people that thought, oh, well, you know, this is going to be bad. And I'm glad I was wrong, because to me, actually, I thought this was the most enjoyable match on the show. The way that they brought the people back, mixed in with the new people, and the right timing of, you know, Vicky Guerrero or Trish Stratus at number 30, you know, Lita early to set the tone, whatever it is. I thought it was booked very well, very smartly. Yes, I know a lot of the girls spent a lot of time out of the ring, but this was, you know, most of them the first time they've been in a match this long, so you kind of expected that, so that didn't bother me too much. I thought it was smart starting off with Sasha and Becky. You want to start out with two women that you trust to compete in there and get things started hot and make it look good to start, and I think they did that. The crowd, like, you know, everybody, the wrestling fans, they respect women's wrestling, and then you got Michelle McCool out there and they're chanting Undertaker. And Nikki Bella's out there, and they're chanting John Cena sucks. And Lana comes out, and they're chanting Rusev Day. Like, you want to respect women and treat them equally. Don't chant for their husbands when they're in the ring. Like, Chelsea Green has tweeted about this numerous times, people chanting Zack Ryder at her while she's wrestling, how she can't stand it. And I think it is very disrespectful. Like, I mean, do you guys want us to applaud? Yeah, you guys are so cool. You're so smart. You know that Michelle McCool is married to The Undertaker. Wow, you guys are awesome. Let's announce to the world that we know this. I mean, here's Michelle McCool, who is making her return to WWE, who hasn't wrestled in years. It's a big deal to these women that it's the first Royal Rumble. She's out there, and now you idiots are chanting her husband's name at her. Like, it's just very, like, it was so cringeworthy. Like, just, I was embarrassed for how uncool these wrestling fans were at the show chanting this stuff. Like, you guys, like, get a life. It's embarrassing. The Nia Jax gets the Yokozuna elimination. I saw that coming. I talked about that on our Raw 25 review on Podcast One and Realm Network. I'm okay with that. Kairi Sane, and this is the first time I've really seen her wrestle because I haven't watched NXT in a long time. I was very impressed with her. I liked what I saw. I don't know. I already have her ahead of Asuka for the Japanese wrestlers. I really liked her. Good showing there. I would put her on the main roster immediately. But Asuka goes over. Kind of predictable. Okay. Again, another one that they really haven't done anything with. They really haven't built her up. Yeah, I understand she hasn't lost a match, but she hasn't had one good storyline. Most of her matches have been against jobbers. You can't count what she did in NXT. Most of the WWE fans do not watch NXT. The numbers show that. So then Ronda Rousey comes out, and I thought this was very odd. I mean, I'm not Rousey. I think that's a good addition to WWE, especially, you know, everybody's reporting that this is a full-time gig for her. It's going to be full-time, which I think is a big deal, and she's not going to be like a Brock or a part-timer. So I understand that. I understand he wanted to make a big deal of it. But, like, what was the point of her just coming in? It was like we were supposed to get Asuka picking Charlotte or Alexa Bliss, which is just odd. I mean, she's on Raw, so can she pick Charlotte and then all of a sudden she's on SmackDown? Is that how it works? I don't know. But either way, we didn't get the choice because Ronda Rousey comes out and just points to the WrestleMania sign. Why are you pointing at the WrestleMania sign? Do you want to wrestle at WrestleMania? Do you want Asuka at WrestleMania? Do you want the other woman at WrestleMania? Why aren't you talking, Ronda Rousey? Why aren't you doing anything? It was very mind-boggling that you couldn't book a bigger introduction for Ronda Rousey. But then, of course, the big moment is got to be Stephanie McMahon shaking Ronda Rousey's hand. That was the big moment of this whole Women's Royal Rumble. Had to be Stephanie. It wasn't the match. It wasn't Asuka winning. It wasn't Rousey debuting. It was Rousey shaking hands with Stephanie McMahon. That was your big camera moment. And to everybody complaining that Asuka didn't get her moment, do you guys understand? Asuka didn't really win this damn thing. She didn't win. There is no moment for whatever her real name is did not win this. Honestly, I think if they went with what all these idiots are saying and made this the storyline, oh, Ronda Rousey shows up, takes focus off the women, takes focus off Asuka. It was supposed to be about the women. Ronda Rousey made it about her. That's a good storyline. Use that. But to say that she didn't get her moment, oh my God, give me a break, guys. She didn't really win it. Somebody with one of these said Asuka is winning. So I don't have a problem with Asuka not getting her moment. I have a problem with it not making sense why Ronda Rousey was there. That should have been a bigger deal. But that's my thoughts on the Royal Rumble. Again, if you want Vince Russo, Big Vito's thoughts, go to russosbrand.com today. Sign into the Realm Network. You will get their thoughts on video. The audio will be released tomorrow on Podcast One. Check out everything we do at russosbrand.com. Please like this video and subscribe. I think it's internet law, that you have to say that now on YouTube videos. But my name is Jeff Lane. Follow me on Twitter at JeffLane22, and I'll see y'all later.